Hello everyone and welcome back to the Great Book of Grudges. My name is Nathan and we're back with a Total War Warhammer video. Today we'll be discussing all the missing units, lords and heroes and legendary characters for the Wood Elves, so without further ado, let's begin. First up we have the Meadow Chariot. While chariots are no longer that common within the Wood Elves, it still makes sense for them to have. A lot of them still make use of them, especially during ceremonies, so it could be that we could see them as a rare unit. It's another chariot, so we already know how they work, so more than likely we could have them with spears and then maybe a variant with bows and spears for extra range. Next we look towards the many wild animals in Athiloran: bears, boars, wildcats and war dogs. Animals were awesome way back in the day. It was something that you didn't really see that much, barring usually war dogs, so variety in terms of animals works well. Bears could be relatively tanky, and the cats, wolves and boars could be used as flanking units or war machine hunters. Honestly, in terms of units, that's pretty much about it. Creative Assembly could make up some new units with Games Workshop, or they could even just make new variants, for example tree men being able to throw boulders and so on, but in general sense the Wood Elves are quite complete in terms of units. Their army works out quite well, to be honest. Anyone who's played against the Wood Elf faction in either the tabletop or in Total War Warhammer will know that they are quite top tier. They've got ridiculous range, fast units, very durable tree men, so honestly they work out quite well. Where they're mostly lacking is in lords, heroes and special characters, so we're going to jump onto that right now. Firstly, we have the Shadow Dancer. Shadow Dancers are incredibly potent melee heroes. Think of them as the hero variant of the War Dancers, playing a very similar role but being singular hero characters. You could use them as agents to assassinate other characters, but they're better suited for the battlefield. These characters were also known to be able to use the Lore of Shadows, so it could be possible that they could also have a few spells from that specific lore. Next would be the Glade Captain, a hero variant of the Glade Lord, fulfilling the same role as the Glade Lord, just not being able to lead armies. It would be great to have a character such as this. This would be your battle standard bearer type of character. Nothing too great, but it would buff up the basic entry level units and maybe something a bit higher, and also be decent in ranged and melee combat too. This is once again another elf, so ranged and melee go together. Going into the Lord section of this list now, we have the Spellweaver, a Lord-focused spellcaster who would have access to the Lore of Beasts, the Lore of Life and the Lore of Shadows. It seems that races are starting to get spellcaster variants as Lords, so it would be cool to see that. But what would make it even better is if they went back to the 6th edition, I believe it was, and gave us the Lore of Athiloran too. A unique lore of magic only available to the Wood Elves, so it'd be kind of fun. But with that, we're done with the Lord's choices too. That was rather quick, but, well, most has already been implemented into the game. But it is with the named characters that the Wood Elves really shine. First, we have Draika, who was a legendary hero type character back in the tabletop. However, I'd like to see her as a themed legendary lord. This branch wraith hates elves with a passion, so she would have a rather interesting campaign, where she would only be able to recruit tree spirits and any animals that may be available to the Wood Elves, no elves whatsoever. Think of this as extreme hard mode, considering the fact that you would be removing, what, 50% of your lineup? Actually, it could even be more. I think there's more Wood Elves than tree spirits at the moment. She shouldn't be able to start in Athiloran, but rather decently close to it, and her campaign would be rather unique, where she would be focusing around cleansing Athiloran of all elfin life. Next, we'll look to Araloth. This could be either a legendary hero or a legendary lord character. In most cases, he is seen as a legendary hero, as he is the personal champion of Ariel, but he's also the Lord of Talzin, which means he could technically be a legendary lord. The main thing is he would be a true elf to be able to start in Athiloran, and yeah, Athiloran is cramped as it is, but he does fit in his place of residence. He's a melee based character, nothing too special to be honest. I'm looking at his stats right now, and yeah, he's just there. The thing is that with the Wood Elves, if you wanted something to be a bit more special, it was usually something like Orion or Durfu. Araloth is a generic elf in the sense of the word, so he'd have to be worked around and be given some sort of unique style to himself. That being said, however, the model does look very cool, and you know, rule of cool kinda wins here. Next, we'll be looking to Ariel herself. The avatar of Isha would also start in Athiloran. Let's be honest here, most of the Wood Elves, if not all of the Wood Elves, would have to start in Athiloran. However, I only see her being implemented after a major overhaul of the Wood Elf system, mainly because I would see her start out in the Oak of Ages, with maybe a unique system only available to her, where you'd be able to influence all the different other Wood Elf factions, whilst also trying to regain access to all of the world routes that litter the Warhammer world. Honestly, something like this would be completely dependent on how the Wood Elf rework would actually come about, but I think my idea more or less works. She's not really known to be too active unless there's something that is a massive problem, such as the Shadow gave. In an effort to make her more defensible, I'd imagine that she and Orion would start off with an unbreakable military alliance. But with that, we look towards our last character, or characters better yet said, the Sisters of Twilight. The Sisters were a hero choice way back in the day, but I rather see them become a Lord choice, mainly because these characters are known to travel quite often and would make the perfect choice for a legendary Lord to start somewhere far away from Athaloran. We currently have two different choices, one in the Empire and one in the Southlands, and to be honest, it would just be a nice change of pace, wouldn't it? I'd imagine that these two characters would be shaped into one playable character, in a very similar sense to how Scarsnake and Globber work. As they are known not to really leave each other's sides, it would be rather interesting to see two characters mounted upon the same dragon or warhawk. However, there is a different system that I thought up just recently which might work. At the start of the campaign, you should be able to pick which one you want to be the legendary lord and which one to be the legendary hero. They should be tied together in the same army and they should not be able to be split up. The only way both characters can be properly wounded is if both die in the battlefield. That means if you go into a battle, have one die, but the other one still has a bit of HP remaining, the other one would be automatically revived. This is a bit of a throwback to one of the rules that they had on the tabletop, which I think could translate rather nicely. I didn't go too far back in terms of legendary characters because, well, a lot of these characters are centered around Athaloran, so it's not like you can have a lot of choice here. Most of Athaloran, well, actually no, all of it is actually overcrowded at the moment. So unless they fleshed out Athaloran a little bit in the map, I don't see too much being able to be done. The Wood Elves didn't really travel that far. Yes, they had a few camps here and there, which we already have two in the Mortal Empires campaign, but even then, it's still not enough. Like I said before, most of the Wood Elf army list is rather complete. They could probably come up with a few self-made variants and so on, but the most important thing about the Wood Elves that is actually really needed is a rework. Other than that, the army works out very well. It's got everything it needs. I know a lot of people wanted to see heavily armoured troops and so on, but it doesn't fit with the lore of the Wood Elves, and, well, not every army should act and have the same amount of different types of troops, because at the end of the day, that's what made the Warhammer races so unique. But with that, my friends, we've come to the end of our video. Thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy the video, might I suggest giving the video a like, or even subscribing to the channel, as it really does help us out. In the description section below, we have various different social media links, such as Facebook, Instagram, and Discord, where you can get in contact with the Great Book team, talk to us about Total War, Warhammer, or just anything, really. Also in the description section below is an affiliate link with Element Games where you could get loads of hobby-based products, not just Warhammer, for 10 to 25% off. Purchasing using this link and also using our special code, which is also in the description, supports the channel at no extra cost to you, which we think is rather cool. A big thank you to our patrons, your support means the world to us. Honestly, it's amazing that people want to help a small channel like us grow and get to a higher level of content. A special thank you to our patrons Gibraltar LUSC and Ryan Bertsche for subscribing to us at our fame level. Honestly, you guys are super cool. And a big thank you to all of you for liking, sharing and commenting on these videos. Honestly, the channel's been growing a lot lately and it's all thanks to you guys. Without you, the Great Book would be nothing. We're trying to implement more videos into the channel soon, but we're getting stuff done outside of YouTube at the moment, just like artwork and so on for the channel. It's just taking a little while to get everything to look to a standard that we feel is cool. Honestly guys, thank you so much for all the support lately, it's been amazing. But with that, my friends, thank you so much for watching once again, and we shall see you all again very, very soon. Have a good day.